Well, welcome to another Down the Rabbit Hole video. I wanted to talk about the arcade. Not the machines, not the great games that we played inside them, but the arcade itself. Because I see a lot of nostalgia, I see a lot of videos, I watch a lot of things about the arcade back in the day. And it occurs to me that they're not the arcade experience that I had. Where I used to go, although arcades were my happy place, they were full of creeps and strange old guys and like punks, and it was actually on the surface a very negative experience of a venue. The place that I went, there were multiple arcades when I was growing up, and each one, with a couple of exceptions, most of them were like dive bar, spooky, not places you would recommend sending your 13-year-old kid to go and play in. No. And I thought to myself, having watched a few videos with the neon lights and the magic electric dreams of all those machines all lined up, I just thought, they weren't that great of a place. It's weird how our memories associate a certain thing with, like, imagine wherever you saw your favorite movie of all time. You think about that actual movie theater now, and you think, ooh, that was actually kind of a rundown, crummy dive bar like venue to begin with a lot of questionable people hanging around it. And yet, your favorite movie was there, and your favorite memories of that movie occur there. It's not like the videotape that you eventually bought, or the DVD, or now the streaming service. No. You remember what it was like, the smell of the popcorn, the leaky floors, the junk. You remember all of that, and you remember it with great nostalgia. I was that way with arcades. But when I see a lot of people talking about arcades, and I see little vignettes or little montages of what was it like at the arcade, and you see all the neon and all the blue and the bright colors, or like when I play Arcade Paradise in PSVR 2. Yeah, sure, that's a nice idealized version of what an arcade was for some people. But for me, no, it was a scary kind of a place. One of the earliest arcades near where I live used to be, I think, more of a pinball parlor. When you walked in there, there were lines of pinball machines on either side. And over the years, from like 79 onward, we started to get Asteroids, we started to get Pac-Man, we got all these machines in. Dragon's Lair, I remember playing in that place. And it slowly turned into somewhere more appealing for little kids. 13-year-old type kids like myself. But the dudes who were there with their pinball machines must have been like, I'm really tired of, in whatever the 1979 equivalent of squeakers was. I'm damn tired of these punks. Why don't you go get a job or go mow a lawn? Why don't you leave me alone with my pinball machine? Why are you here playing that stupid Pac-Man game? It's not a real game. That's not a real game. That type of thing. And I think there was this feeling among the old banner guard of, if we make it uncomfortable for these kids, they're going to bugger off. And they tried, and probably some of them might have been of sketchy legal persuasion already, so it doesn't bear thinking about. But I just thought to myself, that place had some sketchy customers, and that's the older guys. There was also, much like you've seen in a lot of teenage hijinks high school movies, there was that crowd that would be like, hey, we know these kids are coming in with a couple of bucks in their pocket. Why don't we separate them from it? And they can, if they're lucky, they'll get away without a bleeding nose. That crowd was there too. So they weren't fun to be in. Now, there were a couple. There was one that was actually attached. It was in a big shopping mall. And it was a much better clientele. I think because it was part of a mall, you had a little bit more careful custodianship or curating of whoever goes into this place. So you had a better bunch. But again, you ran into the high school bully, and he would be like, hey, give me your money. I'm going to play this game of Defender. Piss off. That also happened. So it is weird that I look back at my days at the arcade and I think, yeah, that was my happy place. Was it really? It had some sketchy characters. It had some sketchy layout of the building. And yet, I keep thinking back to those great days as if they were some wonderful moment. And And the games themselves made them wonderful. But when I really think about it, if I'm being rational and just remembering the exact building and the place, no, it was dicey. Arcades may have been my happy place. They're full of some creepy, sketchy characters, and I should remember that along with all the memories of the game. So I just thought I'd do a little opinion piece on that. What was it like in your arcade where you grew up? Or were there a variety of them and you tended to stick to the nice, safe ones at the playground fair versus the one that was in the laundromat with all the like old people looking at you drinking out of a paper bag and like, hey kid, what are you doing? Yeah, like what was your experience with your arcades? Were they all this pristine, wonderful, glowing neon light thing that you see in any nostalgic videos? Or were they kind of a rundown, you know, a place that like, all right, the laundromat and the ice cream parlor next door, they've got some people coming in, so you might as well go to the arcade, but it's pretty rundown and pretty really nasty. Like, what was it like in your experience? Anyway, I am going to go and play some of these games now because I quite enjoy them. I'll be talking to you next time, so until then, we'll see you down the rabbit hole.